Hi, everyone. Welcome to Web3 Women. My name is Olienka Adenaran. I am the founder of Black Women Blockchain Council, which is bringing you Web3 Women. The purpose of Web3 Women is really to showcase the different faces, women that is, who are in this space building and creating communities around this whole Web3 concept of ours. And today I have with me Irish NFT girl, also known as Niamh. Niamh, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Yes, I am Irishnftgal, otherwise known as Niamh. Reason why I have my Web3 identity much easier to pronounce. I'm basically a full-time NFT marketing advisor here for artists and for projects. I specialize in historical NFT projects before 2021. And I am also an artist myself. I originally started NFTs as a painter, as you can see, like behind me and all over my walls. They're just blasted with color, what I love. So yeah, originally started like even painting at the start of COVID, so actually not too long ago, because I very much I like to do new things a lot. I like to travel, and obviously with COVID I wasn't able to do that, so I had to start something new, keep my mind active. I'm kind of like very yeah, I have to do a million different things at once. I love multitasking and I love trying new things. So I'm really open-minded. And when I first heard about NFTs, I thoroughly believed in the technology, and I'd love to dive into more about NFTs and like my passion for it, because we're obviously here all with the love of the blockchain and like provenance and transparency and accessibility. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome, awesome. Man, you know what? I've heard that a lot of artists, they really started after COVID, and you know, one of the stuff that COVID has brought is brought a lot of people together online, right? And it's also allowed people to tap into their God-given talent, but that they never really explored. And so I think for centuries to come, we're all going to have some kind of COVID stories to tell about how we ventured into maybe our passion, right? So, as an artist, I know you said you really dived into it during COVID, but did you always have like an interest in, drawing and painting prior to?
Absolutely, yeah. When I was in school, art was the only thing I was good at. I'd say after that, maybe maths, but I really loved art. I was always good at drawing, but never really tried painting, or never really tried actually like finalizing. I was more like line drawing, and I loved that, and I loved sketching. I was very much a doodler. Even in university, I would doodle on all of my books and doodle wherever I could. If I didn't have a book in front of me, I'd doodle on the desk, like somewhere. I'd always find somewhere to create art. No matter what kind of like tools I had available, I'd always try and be creative. So definitely was always a lover of like technology as well. I remember when I first got, or whenever, even when I was in school, I think was the first time I got like a computer in front of me, and I was obsessed. I didn't want anyone else to use it after me. I wanted to be the only one to use it. And I think the first thing I did was like play a game. And I remember begging my mom, asking me, please, could we get a computer? And she was like, no way, like we can't afford one. And I begged her for years and years, and eventually got one, I'd say when I was about maybe 11 or 12 or so. So I suppose like comparing that nowadays to kids that get iPads when
Yeah.
they're a toddler, like it's unbelievable how fast technology is changing and how generations even grow up. Like I didn't get my mobile phone until I was about maybe 13 or 14, and now people just grow up and they have it already, it's crazy. So yeah, it was very much creative. I went to school to college and university. I studied creative digital media, so I knew I'd do something to do with technology and something to do with like being creative, but I just didn't know what. And I dived straight into like marketing, and it's something that I always had a love for as well, because it was social media marketing, and it wasn't just like like any type of marketing, you know, could be PR or like graphics and stuff. But yeah, I always freelanced. I was always wanted to do something myself. I'm kind of stubborn that way. I don't really like being told what to do. I don't really like only doing the same thing day in, day out, like 9 to 5. That always frustrated me. And I've worked in a lot of jobs. I've worked in so many different jobs over the years. And I always thought like, oh, maybe I'm just not working for the right company, but realized it just wasn't me. I like being I like my own schedule. I like to kind of set it up myself. And yeah, haven't like since I heard about NFTs, I just really haven't looked back since, because I feel like I'm still doing the same thing in a way. I'm still meeting new people. With marketing, you have to constantly like attract new clients. Like it's the same environment, I feel, for me. It's obviously completely different technology, but as long as it's somewhat the same, I don't feel too different to what I was doing before when I was freelancing.
Okay, okay. So, how would you characterize your artwork? What genre do you fit in?
At first, I thought like pop art, but now I feel like it's not pop art, because I would usually add in like as many different colors as possible before it like gets too crazy. Like I try like whenever I start painting, I would generally have a rough idea of what colors I'm going to do, but I don't want to be too strict, because I think sometimes experimenting, like you can surprise yourself how colors work together, I think. And I think the more like unorganized in a way, unprepared, unorganized, it's more fun creating that way, that process, and you're really using your creativity to your full advantage then when you don't prepare everything, and you're still starting from a blank canvas, so it's still very creative even if you are planning. But I like to be a little bit unorganized when it comes to that, and just have everything out in front of me and then decide as I go along. But I do definitely like struggle with like my imagination. I'd need to have lots of references in front of me. I'd always use like Pinterest, or use like I spend a lot of time on research, and I enjoy that as well. So I feel like if it wasn't for the use of the internet, I don't know if I'd be a painter.
I'm sure you would. There's lots of inspiration all around us as well. So, what how do you bring, like, what device or application do you use to bring your ideas to life as an NFT artist?
Yeah, oh, I'd be lost without like a a high definition camera. I'd be lost without that, and I'd be lost without a scanner, like the use of even a gallery that could provide a scanner. I've tried a few different ways to see like what's more high quality, and it just depends on what your like how thick maybe the paint is, or the size of the canvas. It just depends. So it definitely like the easiest is like yeah, like I've used my mobile phone camera, because it's just so good. Like iPhones, the quality on the camera is really amazing. And you don't mind when you're advertising on social media and it's not the highest quality, but when you mint an NFT, you want it to be the highest quality for the collector.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. So, as an artist that also has both a digital as well as a physical piece, right? Do you allow your collectors that purchase your digital to gain access to your physical work as well?
I have before, yeah. When I first started the NFT space, it was something that I was obsessed with. You know, oh my god, you can get like two. You know, it's a utility in itself. You can get two for the price of one. Basically, it was the way that
Yeah.
I was thinking. Like the value is increased; it's doubled. So I have sent limited edition prints to collectors. I have artwork that I've sent to Japan, America, Russia, Belgium, lots of places, different places in Ireland as well. The only thing with that, and the main reason why I don't necessarily do it anymore, is because of the expense. It's
Mm.
really expensive, and at the start, I didn't really care. I just wanted to be, I don't know, to feel like it's getting some value, you know, and it's being shown in someone's house. Like, how incredible is that? And I still like absolutely love the physical aspect being brought into the digital, but it's just so expensive, and you really have to consider the costs, especially now with like, oh my god, we're basically in a recession right now, so it's hard to make a living off your off the physical. And another thing that I found was a lot of NFT collectors didn't want the physical, so
Mm,
that was another reason why I was kind of like, oh well, if I'm putting a lot of effort into this and the majority of them don't want it, is it worth my while? So I
yeah.
kind of took a step back, but I do like have a lot of the original canvases, and it's definitely something that I will keep doing in the future. I think it's just in terms of the prints, that's a lot of effort required to get, like, you know, really high quality prints made on special paper. But I think the originals is something that I will continue to, you know, gift. You can
Mhm.
gift to your collectors. But yeah, again, you need to make sure that they want them, obviously, because a lot of collectors of art have their house covered in paintings already.
Mm.
So yeah, it's interesting, but definitely the likes of galleries we're seeing now more and more are really interested even in what the art that they already have and turning them into NFTs. We're gonna see more and more of it, like digital and digitalized. We're gonna see more of that happening in the likes of, yeah, historical museums.
Mm.
I recently I'm back from NFT London, and I spoke to a lot of gallery owners there, and they were all like obsessed with learning about this new technology.
Yes, yes, yeah. So I was just about to ask you, like, what conferences have you been to, and has your work been featured in these conferences? So you were just at NFT London?
Yeah, so I speak at a lot of conferences. It's a great way to network. It's a great way
Yeah.
to learn about other people, what other businesses are up to, and then people that just want to learn as well. Like, why, you know, I love educating others, because it's something that I didn't really, you know, I didn't know any other like Irish person. I didn't know many like female artists when I first joined the NFT space, and I think like you need that to help on board new artists, help on board people. Like, if they see you doing it, they can see themselves doing it. So it's really important to like encourage that, you know, it's not that difficult to get into, you can do it too. So
Mhm.
yeah, I spoke at NFT London last week, which was a great opportunity. I spoke at two different events. So the main event, I spoke about basically how you could make a business out of your art. The topic was the untapped voice of the NFT community, and I spoke about like different NFT communities that I work with, different projects, and like what NFTs mean to me. And I spoke at another event. It was called Music Network, and that was actually like so enjoyable. A lot of musicians there that were looking like singers, guitarists, DJs, and so many women. So there was actually a lot of women at the event, and I wanted to kind of tell the audience as well that there's not enough women in NFTs. You know, we need more. It's always this way in technology, and like I think we need to continue to talk about it until it's like at least like what, at least triples, at least quadruples. We need to see like the conferences full of women, and it was great to see it at this event, but it wasn't necessarily, you know, about NFTs. It was more a music event, and then our topic was about NFTs. So
Mhm.
a lot of people first time hearing about NFTs at this event, and they were so interested. And so that was amazing. I spoke, was it last month in Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland, at a DeFi conference event. So that
Okay.
was great. That was mainly about about finance. But they wanted to learn more about NFTs. And then next month there's Miami in Art Basel. I'm hoping to
Okay, so
go to
you're going
that.
to Art Basel. Okay.
I hope so. We'll see. Yeah, I'm planning to.
Okay. That's good. No, it's funny because as soon as you were talking about conferences, I'm thinking you should join Art Basel. because there's a lot of artists that go there, and every year they're always coming back with like inspirations and networking. Like you said, it's a perfect place for networking. And I guess that's like a good tip that you just gave a lot of people right there. It's all about networking in this space and being able to go to these conferences and connect with people. I love the fact that you are cognizant of the fact that there's not a lot of women in this space, and you're looking to create spaces. And then there's more, opportunities for more women to join. And, that's the whole concept of what we're doing here with Web3 Women. We want to feature the fact that there are women in this space and give different faces and lend different voices to the discussion when it comes to how we're building Web3 and who are the people involved in Web3. So this is a good mix of, introducing women to the space who are seeing representation, because it's still a tech bro, like you mentioned, but there are women such as yourself who are participating and finding value. I want to know, like, exchange wise, NFT exchange wise, which one have you used and which one do you like the most?
Ooh, as in so marketplaces.
Marketplaces, yes.
Oh, so the first one I used was Mintable. And
Okay.
Mintable was a like a free marketplace. I was just experimenting and seeing like, ooh, like I don't necessarily want to pay gas, so could I do it? Can I do it without gas? When I first joined the NFT space, gas was about $200. So I mean,
Ooh,
if you
yeah.
wanted the mint connection, that's a thousands, thousands.
Yes.
So I was very careful, I researched a lot. The first one I dived into was Rareable, and I did a limited edition of 5 with a horse painting that I did. I think my first one sold within I think it was within 2 days, and I was a nobody in the NFT space, so I was delighted
That's
that it sold
really
well.
good success.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this actually works, and you're just playing around, learning from other people, asking a lot of questions. And I was like you, I was interviewing a lot of people on like my YouTube channel just to learn more about like, can this actually be a career? Like how can I make? Because I knew I wanted to learn more and keep learning and see if it could go somewhere. After that, I think OpenSea was like the main one that I kind of made most in. I tried a few different marketplaces, but that was probably like the most like successful one, I would say. I started selling a lot of like flipping other projects. Then I started quickly like learning how to do that. I was really interested in how like there's some people in the NFT space and they're not artists and they're making money. Like how is that possible? So I probably made more money by doing that. And then I just got really connected with got some really great contacts that like pushed my name out there, was able to recommend me for these like new NFT projects and like new industries that were already coming out. I invested a good bit into like metaverse. I invested in on Cyber, their new galleries, and at one stage one of them was worth like $50,000, and it literally cost me nothing to get at the start. Like the return on investment that you can make is insane so quickly. It's not like any other industry I've ever been involved in before. But yeah, OpenSea is definitely was the best one at the time. Now Blur everybody uses with their new airdrop. And then X2Y2 is actually a really good one. I think they have the lowest royalties out of them all.
Yeah. No, you mentioned some really good tips for people to be able to jump in and use these different marketplaces as their starting base. I love the fact that you mentioned Mintable, because yes, as you mentioned, gas prices were ridiculously high, and so it's a good alternative to other marketplaces that are out there. But I want to know, before we move on to hot topics, because you did mention something that I want to transition into hot topics relating to. Um, what is your most favorite artwork that you sold?
I would say Yeah, I would say my first one. Because of the collectors I still am quite close to. So I'd say not even because of the artwork, like I would be probably, yeah, I would be most proud of that artwork as well, because it was something at the time I didn't realize like that I could possibly be in NFTs full time, like at the time. So it means a lot to me that way, and it means a lot to me in terms of like who collected the pieces, and that I still am talking to them, I'm still communicating with them, and I met the majority of them in person as well, and was able to, you know, really get to know them. So that means, you know, that means the world to any artist, that you get a bond with your collector. You hope to like continue to either, if it's make work for them, or just to literally like have a friend at the end of it as well. You know, it's lovely. It's not just like a customer. I don't think any artist sees a collector as just like a customer. I never would even say the word customer to, you know, refer them as that. Like a collector is fine, but it's lovely to be able to make a friend out of that as well, from someone that just looked at your you know your creation first and then met you afterwards. It's not like that in any other it's not like that in any other way. So it's special, like.
It is special. It is very special. And it's all about community. And that's what's really driving this whole space, the ability to connect with people, the ability to have that connection, even with your collector. I think that's beautiful. That's the piece that you hold on dear to. So I want to transition into hot topics. It's hot topics time, y'all. So hot topics time. You mentioned royalties. And as you know, there's this big debate, big issue right now in the NFT space when it relates to royalties. And, first I want to ask you, when you found out about NFTs and then you heard about royalties, was that like a deciding factor for you to fully jump into this space?
Definitely was, yeah. I like, even if I go back to my TikTok videos, the ones when I first heard about NFTs and I was ranting about, I definitely said in the same sentence, like, what are NFTs? NFTs means that you can get secondary sales. It means you can get royalties. 100%, it was going in the same sentence. So definitely, if they were to decide that they wanted to get rid of them, or like, I'm seeing a lot of even friends' businesses, and they're unfortunately setting up marketplaces that have the zero royalties. At first, I wasn't completely against it. I have to say, like, because it was like a friend's business, and like you're trying to help promote like your friend, and I obviously coming from like a marketing background, and I love trying to help out, but like it's definitely getting the hot topic now, because it is anti-artist, and it's pro like flipper, it's pro investor, and I get both sides, because a lot of artists end up becoming collectors, and a lot of artists and like they're investors as well. So it's hard to keep both happy, but I think they're really making them separate now by being zero royalties. I have no problem with marketplaces if they want to do that, but I think it shouldn't be the majority. I don't think like OpenSea should be going transitioning to 0% royalty. I don't think Rarible should be. I know Rarible are definitely against it. I'm pretty close to their team, and they always talk about royalties, because they seem to be one of the very few marketplaces that are close, like very very strict to staying with that, and they know they won't go. But yeah, like I think LuxRare was the first one that I seen that posted about it, and everyone freaked out. And I completely understand why you would, because I'm in the middle of the two. You know, I started as an artist, and now I'm kind of like more like, you know, investor, and I have like a portfolio there with like with NFTs. I'm sure I will sell. You know, you sell whenever that you need, and it's definitely a hard one, but I would be very disappointed if the biggest marketplaces went into that area. Yeah, I think it would be such a shame. I think the NFT space would even, you know, not end, but I think it would deter the growth
Yeah.
tremendously.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think at some point we're losing value in what really created the whole NFT craze that we went through. And because of the bear market, right, people are sitting back and now starting to reassess, reevaluate everything, and they're realizing, no, we're not making as much money as we did before, so we need to tweak some stuff. And if they aren't careful, they're going to end up tweaking it in a way that it's not going to be beneficial for the intended recipient, right? Which is the artist, right? Because it's the artist that created the whole movement, right? It allowed people to come in, see value in it, create collections, be able to reap the benefit. It made the exchanges, I'm sorry, the marketplace, I keep calling them exchanges, but the marketplace, it made them, go up in value. It gave them the notoriety that they needed, right? And now it's flipped. Instead of the artist driving, it's now the marketplace are now the one that's kind of driving the direction. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. That's not going to sustain itself. I'm just telling you right now. And they're all thinking here and now, but they're not thinking further down the line, because really what you want to do is you want to bring the customer base, right? The customer base is your artist. You want to bring the artist, so you could always have items for others to collect, right? And to flip and all these other stuff. But if your customer base dries up because you refuse to give them what they want, are you ready for that? So
I think
yeah.
we're going to see like a lot of people just going back to using their own websites, and that will be their own individual marketplace. Like, for instance, I sold a piece of artwork. It was a collaboration with a AI developer, and we should have received the secondary sales. We minted it on Foundation. So back then you needed it was like an invite only system. You couldn't get on the platform unless you knew someone already on it, and it was very exclusive. I think it took me 2 weeks to finally get an invite, and once I did, I was so happy. And then when I got on it, I realized this is so expensive. I don't like it. The commission that they took at the time was more than double than what they take now. And when art collectors sold it on to somebody else, they sold it on another marketplace, another platform. So we actually didn't get the royalties because we used the marketplace contract. So there's so many disadvantages of not using your own. Now I use my own. I use Manifold, and it's really easy to set up. I don't really have many developer skills, but I still was able to set that up, and I would never use a marketplace smart contract ever again because of that reason, because that could be royalties that you'll get forever and ever and ever, and then it's just totally missed out just because you use their code instead of using your own. So it's a pity.
Yeah, I mean, you're really speaking into decentralization, right? We're able to create our own smart contract. We don't necessarily have to go with the central entity. And you found your way by creating your own and also using another platform. So those are always options that's available to us. So that's a great thing that you referenced there. And so now I want to transition into tips. As you know, all my guests comes on, and one of the things that I ask them is whether or not they have any tips for individuals that are outside looking in and realizing, okay, this space, some people are finding value. This is actually a great space, and I want to jump in. And then others, they're already in this space, but they're still trying to figure out, what's out there for them. So are there any tips that you will give people who are both new and experienced in this space that they're just looking for that little bit of advice?
Yeah, I would say become a lurker. Find out people that are already helping other people. They're usually quite public about it, and anyway, so it should be pretty easy to find them. There's in the NFT space, it's quite niche, but once you're in it, you find you'll always keep finding new people. You'll always keep it's never ending. The network space, we're all it's already global. It's already all over the world. I would say try and find someone that either has like free NFT courses, free security. Like the first thing would probably be to educate yourself on security, because there's no point diving straight in if you get scammed, because you will literally deter your whole, like you will go completely against it then. So I would say make sure you educate yourself, and if you are not the type of person to do your own research, then do a course, do a workshop. There's a lot of people that provide like free courses, free workshops, and that sort of thing. It's something that I'm starting to get into now as well, because I find like I definitely feel sorry for anyone, anyone that loses, like people use their wallet as their bank account nowadays as well, and you can lose it in the space of a click of a link, a scam link. So it's tough when you don't know what you're doing, and obviously new people in the NFT space need to kind of learn from other people's mistakes. So proactively reach out to people, say, oh, what are these ways that I should learn. If you're not that good on, like, if you don't want to be really active on like social media, that's fine as well. Like, you don't have to be online all the time, but make sure you try and keep learning from other people that do get scammed, because they get smarter, and you need to keep educating yourself constantly. So yeah, ideally like to do your own research, but if not, then keep asking other people.
Oh, those are great advice. So find the right person, connect with the right people. Irish NFT girl, she's one of those people. And, be security focused. We are on the internet. This is a space where anyone and everyone do show up and participate. And for a lot of people, security has always been an issue. There's different ways to get scammed. There's phishing emails that are out there, all types of social engineering. You definitely want to be cognizant of that, and also be educated into knowing exactly how to navigate through this space. Because, in this space, we're dealing with different concepts, right? We're dealing with ownership, we're dealing with control, and it's all on us. And then we're dealing with two sets of keys, and people tend to mix those keys and don't realize that one shouldn't be shared versus the other. So you definitely want to educate yourself and make sure that you know how you should navigate. And there's plenty of people, plenty of resources that are out there to assist you as well. But also, that does not eliminate the fact that you have to do your own research. Even though you might hear from people and what they say, it's still, the onus lies on you, and you definitely need to do your own research just to confirm and trust that what you're getting is exactly true. And so those are some great tips. Thank you very much for that. Do you have any more?
I'd say make sure you know how to use Etherscan. I'd say I only know about 50% of what I should know on Etherscan. Like, because if you're not a developer, you're not a coder, you generally just look at Etherscan and you're like, no. It's really important. You can find out a lot of information. You're basically looking into someone's bank account, and you can find a lot of information of where they're receiving funds. I would even turn on notifications for some people. You can find out more information from kind of stalking people's wallets than you do on like stalking their Twitter account or their social media. So definitely learn Etherscan, learn how to turn on your notifications to see where transactions are coming from, where they're being spent. Like, you want to know where like the money is going in the NFT space. Like, so I follow some of like the biggest like CryptoPunk owners, some of like biggest like Bored Ape holders and stuff, and I see even the founders of these projects, and I see where the money is being gone. I think it's really important as well, especially like yesterday with all of the news with FTX and Coinbase and everything. Like, if you just purely look at media, you're not really going to learn so much, and you might get tricked as well. You need to see from, your own eyes. You need to learn your own information, not just what people tell you. People will tell you only what they want to hear, or, you can get tricked very easily. So make sure, that's why it's important to do your own research, or become that person that you like research, because it will benefit you in the long run.
And I love that advice. You're so right. And, the Etherscan, your own private way, well, it's public, the own public way of identifying or tracing transactions out there. And like she mentioned, you can literally, if you have somebody's wallet address, you can literally trace anybody anywhere in the world and see what kind of transactions and movement is happening in their account. And that's the beauty of blockchain, right? That's like what the technology is bringing to us, is bringing us that transparency. And I love the fact that you say don't trust what you hear, because something else is happening behind the scene. And that's true. That is so true. And you could really find out, especially in this space when people are saying, they're doing something, but when you look in their wallet, you're seeing some transactions have been happening for a while. So it's not something that just all of a sudden happened, but it's something that, has been slowly building. And there have been, you know what? I'm looking forward to someone writing like a novel on somebody's transactions.
Oh no, yeah. What, like a liar or someone not telling the truth? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like I can literally just see like one of the blue chip, right? Because something always happens to a blue chip wallet, right? So somebody writing like some elaborate story about how this happened to their account and this happened, and I'm sure there's something being written right now just simply off of Etherscan and the ability to see into people's wallets. So that's going to be interesting novel right there, or story, or movie. So who knows?
Terribly movie, yeah.
Well, Irish NFT girl, I appreciate you joining us today. Before I let you go, I want to know, how can people connect with you if they want to connect with you over social media?
Yeah, best place would be Twitter. Irishnftgal is the same on all of my handles. I'm on TikTok and Instagram as well, but definitely Twitter will be like the easiest place to contact me. I'm always so active on Discord, on CryptoSkulls Discord in particular. I'm like one of their community managers. And yeah, like literally, if there was any, even for people that are just joining or thinking about joining the NFT space, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to like point you in the right direction.
Awesome, awesome. And make sure you subscribe, guys. Everyone subscribe to her and subscribe to us. We're going to bring you more women such as her who are showing up in this space and adding great value, and also bringing on a whole new different ideas when it comes to how we're building the Web3 ecosystem. Irish NFT girl, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I want to bid all of y'all adieu. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.